did, yeah.
Don't start.
I said just different size.
Yes, you, I wasn't talking to you.
I got it all moved. Yep, I did. I got you all moved for it.
Yeah.
Yep, you're all set.
All right, phone's on. Good evening and welcome to the July 10th meeting for the Caribou Utilities District. First item on our agenda is approve the minutes of June the 12th, 2024 monthly meeting.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Approved budget and financial reports for June 2024. Any questions on the budget or the report?
So moved.
Second.
I did have a question or two, so hang on.
Discussion?
Too fast.
Now I gotta dig it out.
Liability insurance
Yes,
and the workers' comp.
okay. Workers' comp, we have one more quarter to go. We just paid the third quarter onto that one. And the liability is the property and casualty insurance.
Okay. Is the workman's comp going to be over the,
It falls, well, oh, is it going to be over? I'm sorry.
it's not going to be a lot over though, I guess.
No, I don't believe it is. So we just have one more small payment because each quarter they decrease,
And the accounting expense, Sue.
right? Our audit, and we split it between the water and wastewater. And they also charged $5,000 for the single audit for our projects, but we will be turning that in with the requisition. And that isn't included on here, the 5.
So there's going to be another $5,000 charge on
It's
that?
not going to show on here, though. It's in with our projects right now.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So to
So-
follow,
Go ahead.
so to follow up on that, is this expense, we'd technically be done for the year,
With this,
with the exception of the 5,000?
and the 5,000 has been paid, but like I said, it went into our project, and then we'll send it in with a requisition.
Right.
But no, on the water and wastewater, you'll see the 6,250, and that's half. for each.
Right, so the next audit, next budget cycle will cover the next audit.
No, we're all done for this
We're
year.
done.
Hopefully.
The other one I have on here is plant fuel and the treatment plant.
Something we really can't control. I mean, they come and fill us up when we get low, right, guys? There's nothing else that would show.
So that's going to be
So
well over budget?
earlier in the year, or maybe before you guys approved the budget, Hugh had changed where we put our plant fuel, or excuse me, our vehicle fuel and our vehicle maintenance. So we could have mixed those up because on, where's the other, so on the collection side, I think it's 606. And for some reason, they're not shown.
506, you mean? Vehicle maintenance?
So 506 is one of them, but on the collections, it looks like it didn't make it onto the list.
It's,
Can you see 606?
where is, I'm just looking.
Yeah.
No, all the, it printed, it was just the
Yeah.
total.
So I did the budget this month, so I apologize that some of it might not be accurate, because it's the first time doing it, but the numbers are accurate, but the way that I printed it out. So there's the collection accounts that are in there that also has a vehicle maintenance and or fuel in it. So that one could have some of that money in it.
Well, the vehicle maintenance doesn't have, I mean, we haven't used any of it.
Oh, we're talking about plant fuel.
Well, I know on the plant fuel, but I'm looking at
Yeah.
what?
I apologize. I'm
The
not,
the vehicle maintenance shows that it's in the,
yeah, that might be another reason too. But plant
Somebody
fuel,
paid you.
I'm not sure on that one.
all right. And I questioned about 425, which is other income, which we aren't getting anywhere near what we had budgeted here this year. And 430, which was waterworks rental.
Right, because that was an intercompany account and it's been paid in full. So that was added to the budget, but we have completed that payment.
And what about the other income? Was that income planned from tree cutting or something?
No, that would be on the water side.
Okay.
We have that. But we see we have the leachate up under 405 for the month. It's doing very, very well.
All right, so the accounting services on the water division will be the same as the wastewater, and I guess the only other, and I have to comment about it, is the office expenses. And I know you explained it, Sue, but I really don't think that should have ever happened. I don't know how we stop it. I've never worked anywhere where I could have put expenses in from 3 or 4 years ago and been paid for them.
Like I said in the email that I sent to you today, it wasn't that he hadn't been asked for them because he had been.
Yes, I know,
But
you explained that to me.
he waits until the last minute, and that's what happened. But it was all travel, because he went to Rollingsford for was it the Headworks? And there are 2 conferences each year that he would have mileage on, 2 in Augusta, Maine Rural Water and Maine Water Utilities. But everything else, it's like I say, it's all for mileage, and he had it at the bottom. And like I say, normally we would get it either monthly or quarterly, but I mean, it is
Yeah,
legitimate.
I honestly think
Need
we
it to
should
happen.
put something in the policy that,
We've taken steps in the past, so these kind of unfunded things don't pop up on us like this. And I think we probably should do something. I think, expenses should be turned in within, I think, in my work history, within 30 days.
yeah.
Perfect.
Mine have never been longer than a month that I've turned them in. In fact, I've usually turned them in the day I get back.
Well, it seems like there being incentive to turn it in and get your money back.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway,
Excuse me, Gary, you will notice in the packet that I added later, I had the water and wastewater office expense, and I itemized everything, and
Yeah.
it will list on it. And like I said, and we discussed this at one other meeting, like annual fees that we pay for our Neptune and Continental and things like that. So it's all in there, but it's
oh
itemized
yeah,
on the sheet.
so I'm not saying that it's something that's not in there, I understand.
No, I just wanted you to see.
And I'm not saying that it's not something that's legitimate. I'm just saying that there's no reason that somebody should not put their expense reports in for 3 or 4 years, whatever, and then turn them all in and,
Well, Sue had
Should
talked
have a
about
vote,
it. That,
then I and have the policy changed.
Yeah,
When Sue was talking about it, I'm thinking, he's 2 or 3 months behind. I had no
Yeah.
idea, it's like 3 years.
yeah, yeah.
Was this budgeted? This wasn't budgeted then.
Well, it was.
It would have been budgeted in the years that it was
In the
done.
years that it was, because he turned in for 21, 22, 23, and 24.
Yeah, but then,
So we would have been under budget in
Yeah.
those years.
Yeah.
It's all included in office expense, and I can't tell you, what it was for those years.
Can't go back and reallocate it.
No, and like I say, there are so many things that go under this office expense. I mean, to me, office expense would be like our paper and pencils and things like that. I think that title needs to be changed when we do the budget, because it includes telephones, and it has our outsourcing charges for our bills and our payroll. Tie sales, we have a large amount to them for the Neptune system, and it always has gone in with the office before.
Yeah.
We just put sub-accounts underneath it, and then you can define them.
If you look in there,
Yeah,
it does say
I
I gave you a sheet that
Yeah.
does explain everything.
Yeah, it's not really a fair representation of our true office expense.
No, it isn't, and I'm just looking here what our office expense was. For the wastewater, 2,300, and, well, it would be the same in the water because we split everything. So we could have better than $10,000 just in membership fees and support on our computers.
I think if you come across something unusual, again, it should come to us. I mean,
Okay, that's fine, but like I say, it's something we've always done. I do realize that it was late.
Okay, I think we can do something that'll,
Well,
correct
legally,
that.
if they're legitimate expenses, you have to pay it. But we should have something in our,
I would agree. We need a
Policy is,
policy.
Did you want to vote on it tonight so that we could?
do we have a policy book
Yeah,
written out?
yeah.
Yeah, we do.
yeah. You should have got
I passed them
one.
out at the beginning.
Did you had that, or? I've never seen one.
Yeah, I got it right here.
You have, I see
Yeah.
that. I don't have one.
You gave us all a copy
At the
at the
beginning.
beginning of the year.
Yeah, well,
It's in one of your envelopes.
am I older than you or younger?
Yeah, well, I think I have one too. I think.
Anyway, I wouldn't mind
You're not
if
gonna
you could-
embarrass me.
Well, I would just add it and observe, 30 days to me seems lots of time to be able to submit your expenses.
I'd like to make a motion that you, if you have reimbursement coming, you make it within 30 days
Second.
of your return.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, can I amend that a bit?
Sure.
And put such statement in our personnel policy, so it's clear.
It needs to
Yeah.
go, be added.
He added in both
I'm sorry.
personnel policy and,
Is that the personnel policy you have in front?
Yeah,
no, okay.
it's not in there currently.
No, it isn't.
No.
We have nothing on it, no.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions on the financials?
Can I,
We vote on this?
wait a
Oh,
minute.
yeah, sorry.
I'd like to add something to that if I could. That must be turned in within 30 days, and if it exceeds the fiscal year, it won't be paid.
What does that mean?
In other words, if you, for some reason, don't get it in and you try to get it in and after the calendar period, it's not getting paid because the budget's closed.
Is that is legal with the state laws now?
And thanks a lot. We'll leave that open for future discussion. I'll look it up.
But we're going to 30 days.
30 days
30
minimum, yeah.
days,
I would say 30 days at the close of at the close of the fiscal year.
And we don't use it that much, but with Hugh, he used his vehicle for everything.
Right.
Alan has mileage for his, and we reimburse him. I do when I go to conference and things like that, or to get the mail. But that's the only thing that would be in there for,
Do those conferences get approved by the board, or do you guys just go?
I usually work at them.
Well, that's not my question.
No, it's never happened before. I've never gone to the board. There's never been an issue before.
All right, you have the motion now about adding to the policy book there, Sue?
I don't even know what I seconded now.
Right, that it'd be turned in 30 days, and for a year would be the limit.
Okay.
And it'd be added to
Did
the
we have a
policy book.
seconder for that motion?
We're adding to the policy.
Yeah.
So wherever the policies are written will be included in
And
it.
currently, there's nothing in our personnel policy.
I will second that.
All those in favor? Passed. And we had a motion to approve the budget and financial reports, but I don't know if we had a seconder.
Yeah, it was seconded, we
Yeah, it
just
was.
haven't voted on it yet.
Okay. All those in favor of approving the budget and financial reports? Project updates. I don't know if Fred and Derek can,
The only thing I have, at the last meeting, you had asked about the punch list on the
Yeah.
police station, and July 12th is the date that everything is supposed to be completed. Our
Is
engineers-
Mr. Lord coming up to follow up on that?
I don't know. I haven't talked with him. I don't know.
If he does, I'd like to go with him.
Okay, very good. I'll send him a note
Okay.
and tell him,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
okay? Derek and Fred, you got anything on the water projects and the wastewater projects?
The water projects, no, other than the booster stations. Jim Lord did reach out today asking if the punch list had been completed. And I told him a walkthrough would be done tomorrow and let him know. I do not believe he's coming up for it.
He
We
isn't,
can-
okay.
We can request it if you.
Well, the thing is that, for instance, the insulation that was put around the foundation
Yeah.
hasn't been fixed. Paint doesn't change the makeup of the insulation. So,
Yeah.
and I think in the punch list, it recommended that it be put in according to specification, and it wasn't done.
Yeah, Apex spent, I think, 2 days up here. We met with them once to drop off keys, but they were fixing some things, but on the north side, I didn't see them re-excavate that. change.
Well, you'd be able to tell because the earth would be disturbed because it's supposed to be 3 feet down,
Right.
so.
All right,
Yeah, on the other ones, I don't think there's no updates on any of that. Grimes Phase 2, that's still in the senator's hands right now. And I don't know if Penny has any updates on Chadwick. Do you have any updates on Chadwick, Penny?
So Chadwick Bay Ross, I did meet with representatives from the parent company who were here from Canada a couple of weeks ago, and everything is going well from their end. I've also been emailing this week with BRSA, who's doing their site work, and answered some questions from them about that paperwork.
The FEMA funding, heard from the FEMA office through email that there's a bunch of different accounts that you can apply for funding through FEMA. Which I think BRIC is the account that we're going to be going through for the river crossings. The person that I had talked to suggested that we use a grant writer They mentioned NMDC, but I believe that the city, don't know where he was at with that. The city has a grant writer that's going to help us with that, or if we should seek out somebody else to help with it, if the city's just too tied up. Okay.
All right. Has Alan been in yet, Sue?
He stopped in for just a few minutes today. He's busy doing carpenter work and
I just wondered if he'd come in just to kind of update himself on the things that might be happening here.
I'll
Or is he-
ask him, he said, I'm really busy. He said, because we did discuss it, because I know you had called me and asked if I'd mind if he came in.
Yeah.
But we have no projects going on, right at the present, but I'll call him if you want me to reach out to him.
I just think he should get himself up. David, what do you think?
Yeah, I think he was.
Or do you think he's aware of this that's going on?
I'm not sure if he is totally or not, but
Well, do these guys need them?
These, Derek and Fred are doing an awesome job.
Yeah.
And they have been right along. They're on top of everything. And like I said, we have no real projects right now, do we?
Basically maintenance.
Yes,
Yeah,
really,
okay.
your hydrants and
The
things.
DOT
All right.
paving schedule, and we had 4 hydrants we replaced.
We did talk with Jim Lord before Hugh had left, and if any of these projects, proceed, he knows to be dealing with us, and he copies both Fred and I on all the emails that he sends out, so we're both aware of
All right.
what's going on. So we're trying our best at the same time of keeping the maintenance up on the system, so.
Mr. Lord's aware of all the irons that we have in the fire, right? Because there's quite a list of things.
Oh, yes, because he's the one that prepared, you mean the punch list? Yes, he
Yeah.
was up and he was with
So he
the,
sent one of his.
okay, that's what it was, okay. And then Jim sent me the update.
Yeah, we did the walk around for the punch list with them as
No,
well.
I wasn't talking about that part of it. I was talking about the projects.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Oh,
Okay, all right.
oh, yeah, he's on top.
Yeah, so Virgo Engineering cannot be part of the FEMA money. That's something that an engineer can't have their hands in, so that's why we need to use a grant writer.
Okay,
in
that's,
that process.
okay, I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Do you
All right.
want me to reach out to Alan Gary or?
No,
Because I really don't think-
if everything is all right and there's no need right now,
It
fine.
Seems to be going great.
I just,
He
Yeah, he-
did give us an open invitation to call him.
Yeah.
Yes, he
okay.
did. He did today as well.
Yep.
all right. Tractor discussion.
That would be Derek or Fred
Yeah.
or both of them.
CUD tractor operator. Sue, you're getting a bill from the rec department there for rental of that tractor and bush hog, and it's $500 according to Gary Markey. So,
How the hell did that go?
So I appreciate that, all the work that you guys did to,
yeah, no, and I have, and just so you know as well, Penny, I've talked to Gary about the possibility of us doing this every year, of boring that tractor and paying a fee to him. And it's not like we use the tractor steady all year round, or I think we gotta mow the grass. And to buy a tractor for $45,000 to mow the grass there just seems. And like I say, Gary's been very reasonable, and he was very happy that the way you returned it, that you had it all cleaned up, full of gas and everything, which obviously we should do. And but yeah, I think before we buy a tractor, I think we'll probably have a little more discussion with Gary and the city to see if we can make arrangements. He said it didn't harm him doing his work or their operations, so. And
I do feel that the district should have their own equipment, just because we've had it for so long, right? Ever since the plant was built out at Grimes, they've had that unit. When you're using somebody else's equipment it doesn't necessarily work for the applications that you're going for. So like in our solar field that we get paid to, I wasn't able to do that because what they had on it was way too large for me being able to get in between. Gary had also asked that Fred or I be the only operators of the machine. And that took a lot out of me last week as they were all out on installing hydrants. So that part of it was a bit of a struggle. And he was on me towards the end of me finishing up because he needed to get out and mow his ATV trails. So no, everything went well. It's a large mower. I was able to get a lot done in a short amount of time. But I think us having our own equipment makes it so that we can allocate the equipment to our employees when it works for us. If we have a main break, you know, our employees can go work on that, and you know, the work can get done at our pace versus only having a week out of the year to get it done. So that's just something to think about. I mean, it's done for this year, and we're in good shape
Yeah.
as far as that goes. But
Obviously, we could probably arrange to get it earlier too in the year than what we did this year.
yeah, I mean, we had an early spring too.
So,
right? So
That,
things
that might make a difference as far as Fred being involved as well, if you could do it earlier. So, I mean, it's just to me, to spend $35,000 or $45,000 for a tractor to work, what, 16, 20 hours?
Yeah. There's that, but if you look at the amount of time that we had our other tractor, and you divide that out, how long we had it and how much we paid for it, I don't even think it was $400 a year of what it actually cost the district to own it.
Well, this one here, if you had it for the same amount of time, 41 years, it would cost you over $1,000 a year, plus all your repairs and oil changes and everything else, so. And when you have the opportunity to rent one for $500, if it was my money, and I gotta tell you, every board I've ever served on, I've acted like it was my money. And if it was my money, no way I'd spend that amount of money for a tractor when I can rent it yearly for $500. Just, to me, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but.
Well, I'm still considering, you know, if we could find something a little more reasonable without a lot of hours on it, I would be willing to go that route, for sure.
Oh, yeah, we could find the right deal. I guess I would consider it too. I just don't.
You would think there'd be some of those tractors coming up on the market soon. They've sold so many.
So I asked you guys this to either think about now or into the next meeting. If there's a number that you can come up with for a tractor under whatever hours you decide, can we do some research, but you agree on what that is going to be, so that if we do find something, that we can pull the trigger on it.
Okay, well, we'll.
And you still have the, I'm sorry, you still have the brush hog, everything, or the
We do
mower?
have the bush hog, yeah, it's,
Yeah.
but should be looked at being replaced as well.
I just get concerned, and I'm grateful that the city did what they did, but I've seen in other communities when somebody borrows from another department and something happens, the fingers get pointed and that kind of stuff. I think there has to be some pretty strong either wording or an agreement. And again, I'm not implying anything or anything, just I think we need to be careful that we don't wreck a good relationship with something that happens.
So are you saying that you think we as the board, if we did this with the city and took it out and blew the transmission in it,
Nope.
that we wouldn't pay the transmission?
That's not what I'm implying. I'm just saying that I think we need to be careful of, you blew the transmission, well, no, it was blown when I got it. I don't know. You want to be careful.
Well, if it was blown when you got it, you wouldn't have been able to drive it out there, so.
I
But
think,
the amount of time that we'd be putting on that tractor shouldn't cause those types of issues.
right. I think these are all valid questions and reasons and stuff like that, but I think if you develop a trust, and That's the biggest obstacle. Then if something does happen, then there's not gonna be that finger pointing as you suggest. It's when you go out and somebody haphazardly just doesn't pay attention or anything like that, and,
No,
you know,
I'm just,
so, but,
Anyway, we'll discuss the used tractor issue and what the board feels is a reasonable amount to spend.
One other question I have on the mowing for this year, our solar field did not get done because I don't have the small enough equipment to do it. We get paid $2,000 from the owners of the solar panels themselves. Can we look into hiring somebody for that this year that will just replace that money in one pocket out the other?
Yeah, I suppose.
And then we'll just.
If we have a contract to do it,
Yeah.
but
We have the contract with Revision Energy.
that should be brought up before next year, and we'll decide whether we want to do it again next year, or whether we want to let them
Yep, find out who.
get somebody else to look after.
Sure.
There's no sense us being involved if we're just gonna pay out what we're taking in. Because that's when you might get into the situation that Jay has just mentioned.
Yep.
Because there's more people involved now, and no, we have to do that this year to do our commitment, fine, but
Well, it wasn't an issue prior, right? That's why we
Yeah.
decided to take it on, because if we were in that field mowing anyways, we just opened the gates and decided to do it, and then we'd go back underneath the panels.
yeah.
So that, if we can just have somebody else take care of the bigger part, then we're okay for this year, and we can figure out what to do for next.
All right.
Okay.
How many hours did you have on the tractor that's dead?
2,900.
2,900.
Yeah.
So-
So about 70 hours a year.
So buying something with 1,500 hours is probably not a good
Right.
thing.
Right.
Good.
I just wanted to make sure I had a broad comparison
Yep.
on that.
All right.
I'll
Anything else
move
about
to
tractors?
table the discussion on tractor discussion.
Yeah. Meet next week, we'll talk about that too, maybe. Other issues, signed documents for renewal line of credit.
Excuse me, Gary, there was another set of documents in your packet that I gave you just tonight on heat pumps for the office. Our office is terrible, isn't it, Phil? You were in there the other day, and
Yeah.
you suggested heat pumps. But I know years ago, Hugh had mentioned it as well, but we have 4 air conditioners. Derek took a look yesterday, they're so full of mold. And we either have to have new air conditioners or something. It was 82 in the, where the billing girls are yesterday.
What do you heat with?
Heat in there too, isn't it? Is the
I'm-
baseboard electric heat?
Yeah,
It is, yeah.
That was my question.
Yeah, the building's
Yes.
heated electric,
So a heat pump would be good.
right? And then the baseboard would turn supplement.
The second document that's attached with that is the efficiency main incentives, which I just got at like 3:30, and I did not have a chance to read through it, but the lady that I talked to from Efficiency Main didn't really tell me like a dollar figure of what we would qualify for reimbursement. But somewhere in there it should tell us, although it matters what type of unit you buy.
Right.
So that quote that's attached to it might not even apply to the incentives.
Are we eligible for the rebate
Yes.
program?
Yes, we
Okay,
are. We are on the list.
that answers that.
So this quote from Webb here,
Yep.
how many heat pumps is that?
That's 4 heads with 2 condensers.
Where would they be placed?
So one in the main office,
Okay,
one in the billing office, which is to the right as you
Right.
walk in, one in the conference room, and one in the general manager's office.
and is the one in the main office gonna encompass her area plus
Yeah,
the
he
open
sized-
area?
He sized it for that.
Okay,
area,
good.
yeah.
So how big are those two units?
I don't know though.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, he didn't really tell me the specifics on the size.
Are these prices installed, or we got?
No, so R.L. Todd would be the installer of it. He said,
Yeah, it says $4,000 labor for R.L. Top.
Okay,
and we can do this a little bit differently, like we can ask, different, however you guys want to do that. If you want 3 quotes or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, I know RLC Electric does a lot of heat pumps. Probably 3 or 4 others too. Looks like the BTUs are listed there on
I didn't look at the thing, so I was just,
22,000, 9,000, 12,000. Did Webb's work this up for you, the sizing?
Yeah, he came in, their outside sales guy came in yesterday.
Yeah.
Measured it out. And it would be good to, I don't know where you guys are at with the siding. I don't know if we talked to you guys about siding in the roof on the office building.
You had mentioned it earlier, yes.
Okay, so it would be good, and I think it would save us some money on like the ductwork that goes on the outside of the building if we did it with the siding project, because then they could put it in the soffits of the building, and it would eliminate having to cover those, the plumbing on the outside of the building. So you could put it up in the soffits if we could do it together.
How many square feet is that building?
I don't know. I think it looked like it looked like it might have been 1,800 square feet, just trying to look at his notes that he was.
That's what I would guess too.
Yeah.
About 1,800 square feet.
Seems like 4 heat pumps is more than,
Yeah, I think it's
I
just.
mean, I have one and it cools.
The choppiness of the building, the way that it was added onto at different stages.
it's only 2 units,
There's only
correct?
2
Yeah,
units
4
here.
units.
2
Oh,
units,
2.
4 heads.
Okay,
So 1 unit taking care of 2 rooms, basically.
okay.
All right, yeah. That'd be about
This-
right. One might be a
Who's
little
familiar
cooler
with
than
how
the
this
other, but
rebate works? You ever put one of these in?
I have, but it was
Is it
residential.
more than just the heat pump, or does
We have, yes, we have.
the installation and that, do you get covered some?
We've used it before,
Yeah, the
rebates.
lights we
The
had in the water
lights,
garage
yeah.
were under efficiency main. Commercial is much different than residential, so I haven't been through a commercial one. Residential's a lot easier, you just mail it in that they installed it and they send you a check, or your installer a check. I don't-
Yeah, the installer usually just sends it in for
Submits the
you.
invoice, yeah.
some of the installers take care of that in the installation price, and they just reduce your bill.
She did say that R.L. Todd, or whoever our installer is, would need to help us fill out the application that accompanies that.
Well, I'm sure that they can help you do that.
October 1st is the deadline to have an application submitted.
Okay.
But at any time, we can submit an application, then they go through the process of approving it.
Well,
So the incentives are capped at 85%. System must serve as a primary heating unit, and heat pump retrofits must be sized and configured as a whole building system, which is what you had. Page 8, if you're
So
interested.
this would provide air conditioning as well as replace the electric heating that heats the place now, so, this is probably gonna pay for itself in 10 years.
Because actually, I don't get anything in my office. We have the one that is in Cheryl's, and Alan had put a vent at the top, but we don't get that much air in there.
Well, I think we should do something, and we should get 3 different, more than one quote, and I think it makes sense to do it. As far as the siding, I don't know. First I hear of it. What kind of siding you talking?
I believe that he was working with Troy Haney to have the same siding that was put on our booster stations, just to match. And Troy has not got back with a price. So I believe he subcontracts to A&M Construction, which does roofs and siding. So I was gonna reach out to him just for a direct quote instead of going through Troy, because I think he's gonna use it anyways. But I would reach out to Troy before doing that. I think he's just busy with what he's got going on. So the garage roof on the water garage needs to be replaced, and then the roof and the siding on the office building needs to be replaced. I don't even know if he's got quotes yet, like even rough figures for it. I haven't seen anything come through. Yeah, which I think he was gonna bring up to you guys. I thought that there was an agenda at one point that had those on it.
It was discussed, yes, it was discussed.
Yeah, we were waiting for some pricing.
We were, right,
Yeah.
and like you say, we were going to match it with our booster station. and-
Yeah. Which was supposed to be done this year, I thought.
Well, I think we should go ahead with it too, but I would like to see another quote. I don't like just getting one quote and saying, here, we're gonna do it. And most of these fellows that do this, they understand what rebates and everything are, don't they?
They do.
They should be able to tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ours is a little unorthodox because we have an account with FW Web. We can get good pricing.
Yeah.
But usually you go through an installer and they order it and they give you the quote with labor included.
That's
why I
fine.
called R.L. Todd to try to see the difference of what it would be. So FW Web didn't give me incentive options because usually the installer does that part of it.
Yeah.
So we can do it a little bit better than what you guys have in front
Well,
of you.
Efficiency Maine has a list of people that do this, I think.
Yep.
Yeah,
Maybe you should look at that list and pick a couple local,
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
And County Electric did for our lights, didn't they, down at the garage?
Yep.
So I know they had all of the paperwork.
Yep. And this just happened yesterday. We found the mold in the condensers yesterday, and I got the quote started yesterday. So it was
All right.
very early.
All right, thanks for doing that.
So we don't-
It's been overdue.
we don't have any estimates for the roof and or the siding yet, because it hasn't come across the table here. Now, is that something we're gonna wanna take on this year also too?
The roof, if anything, the roof on the water garage should be
Yeah.
done.
Because that
Yeah.
one is leaking internally. It's coming out of the light fixture when it rains, so that one's overdue.
Is it asphalt shingles?
Yes.
Is that what you want to replace it with, or?
I think that's what he had planned on.
Yeah, I think that was, if I recall, the discussion.
Yep. And it's the same, I think the office is the same age, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. And the siding is in rough shape on the office.
So the dumb question of the day is, could you even get a contractor to do it in
Yeah.
'24?
I don't know if those contractors work on how large of a
Yeah.
project it is, that
Yeah.
they might bump it
Yeah.
ahead of the line, but yeah, we can work on that and try to get some more solid figures for you guys.
Well, try to get all those quotes and
Okay.
get something before October 1st.
We can meet before the next, if we have to,
Yeah.
okay? That's not a problem. I don't, is it?
No.
I'm sorry if I'm
No,
speaking,
No,
okay.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay,
so when
we don't have to wait till the next month in order to do business, yeah.
Well, we're going to be meeting to look at
Resumes,
resumes
Yeah, we're
anyway.
gonna probably
yeah.
meet next Tuesday.
that might be kinda tight, but then that way we can figure out financing also, or paying for it out of our own pocket.
And I think the $12,000 that was on for the income, I think that was, Hugh had put that there because what had happened before, wastewater had borrowed, or I'm sorry, water had borrowed from the wastewater and had paid it back,
Yeah.
and that's why it was.
Okay.
Then you'll probably get 5,000 from Efficiency Maine, or more, I don't know.
Yeah, Tim Todd had talked about we're getting up to
Yeah.
8,000 for that, so I didn't want to throw random numbers out there, but. you
No,
know,
because
we'll have to
that
really-
goes like this anyway.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
All right.
So you'll check in with Troy and with Andrew Michaud and see if that's something that we can get done this year.
I don't think that there's too many contractors that would do a project of that size. I really think that A&M Construction is the only one that does it.
It's one of the few, he's one of the few.
I can try to find another quote for it, but I don't think that we'll get one. So how do you want to handle that if we can't get more than one quote?
Well, see what you can get and we'll look at it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Can we move to other issues, Sue?
Pardon me?
Can we move to the other issues now?
Yes, you can. With the documents, I will have those signed after the meeting because I have several bank documents and liens as well.
Okay, additional signer for the office check.
Yes, I would like to have another person go on as a signer if I'm not at the office, or anything over $10,000, it has to be 2 signatures. And then that, we wouldn't have to call any of our 3 signers in every day of the week to sign if,
Yeah,
for instance, if I'm not there.
David, can you look after that until we get another manager?
Yeah, what do I have to do?
No, what I had asked is, I was either Fred or Derek or Cheryl, who's my accounts payable, be authorized to
Oh.
sign as well as myself, rather than bothering you. But if you don't mind coming in every day or so,
Every day?
well, I sign every day just about.
Derek can do.
Well, I can sign that too, right? There's 3
Yes,
of
you
us.
can, the 3 of you can.
So
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you can't show up, call me and,
Okay,
all right, and if it
That's-
gets to be unmanageable, then we'll do that. How's that sound like a good idea?
Yeah?
Okay.
fine.
I don't mind going down there. Have them ready by 6:30 though, all right?
yeah.
In the morning?
Yeah. I gotta brush my teeth.
One more thing while we're talking about the liens and everything. They started harvesting the wood over on the River Road just last week. We had
Yeah.
$4,500 that was turned in, and they're going to be working there quite often, I believe. And then they're going over to Grimes, is that right, boys? Scott?
I don't know of a plot on, maybe they, I don't,
I heard Grimes and then another spot out on the St. Peter Road. I think where we used to haul sludge, we have a lot of,
Albert Road,
Albert Road, we have a lot of land out there, and I think those 2 were discussed.
Grimes must be on the farmland,
Yeah,
the backside of the farmland.
Yeah.
But I believe he finished on the River Road.
Did he?
I think all
Okay.
the equipment's pulled out of there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understood he was down on River Road.
Well, this last check, I know
What's
that
left
was
there?
the River Road, but maybe that did wind it up then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Review of the 12/31/23 financial rules.
That's the annual audit.
That's my annual audit, and
Oh, yeah.
I gave you each a copy, I believe, at the last time.
Yep.
All I can say is, what I like is a clean audit with no findings. This is what my auditor told me. I'll go over any of it if you would like to. But the
What is the
user,
board's feeling with it?
I had no questions.
I don't have any
Yeah.
questions either.
Clean
I-
audit's a good audit.
Yeah. I'd move we accept the audit.
I'll
Second.
second that.
All in favor?
Just did you need any special kind of wording for the motion, or is it just
no,
that
just that
worked?
it's
Okay.
been approved by you, because,
okay.
no, that's all I would need.
All right, anything else from any of the,
Do we have guests from Maine Rural Water? Do they
Yeah.
have
Yes, and I was,
issues to bring before the board?
I
okay?
have nothing for you, just in town, and thought it'd be fun to come see you.
we're glad you
Live in
did.
action.
See how much we have to do in this town, huh?
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Well, you can come back anytime.
Next Tuesday, right? That's when you're back in town?
Yeah. Did you have a good turnout last
I
night?
might not be here.
It was nice.
Good.
Yeah, it was a small group, but it was an active group, and so that was great.
Yeah, I heard great feedback from the Lagoon Day from
No, we did.
everywhere.
Everybody.
Thank you, and we are certainly grateful for these guys, for all the effort and the help that they put in for that, so thank you for hosting.
Now, how often do you put on the course for new trustees and that?
As requested. We did probably half a dozen trustee trainings in this calendar year. A lot of new folks getting acclimated to boards.
And you do them in different places every
We do.
time?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
I think last year you had
We
two.
did two up in Lakeview.
Up at Lakeview, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And Derek and Fred also went last night.
They did. They kept us on our toes to be sure we knew what we were talking about.
Unfortunately, couldn't make last night, but the ones I have attended have been excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you have no plans to come back to Caribou again to do one?
Not this week, no.
Maybe next time.
Probably next month. Yeah.
Yep. April. April? Yeah. Yeah, we did a,
How do you pick where you do them? What,
It's just a matter of who's making a request and where we've been recently, such that if we keep going to the same exact spot, folks say, well, you know, I've already sat through that, I don't want to sit through it again. So we're headed to Paris soon, if you'd like to follow us there, if you're looking for a trip south. So it's really new boards of trustees as folks either get elected or get appointed to boards, as boards change over. It just gives an opportunity for folks to begin to understand roles and responsibilities and how that works.
okay.
Are those mine?
Freedom of access, folks need to go through that training and do certifications that, yes, they've been through freedom of access information, so it's a good opportunity.
Title I, Chapter 13?
So do you typically do one in Aroostook County each year? Or is it if somebody asks for it?
It's if request,
Yep.
yes. Yes, I will submit, DEP encouraged us to come because there were quite a few changeovers and directives from DEP for the wastewater utilities in that neck of the woods. So we came with a strong invitation from DEP.
Strong suggestion.
Strong suggestion,
Yeah,
yes.
okay, yeah.
Might be a good idea to go
We
there.
also did a hands-on class for your operators. May? Okay.
April.
I think it was, May 7th. Yeah. Yeah.
That derived from us talking at the Rural Water Conference in December,
Yeah,
showing off the training and response trailer that Maine Rural Water has. And
It's a.
let's go. We'll come up there and do it.
It was really good for our guys that haven't been with us for, you know, seasoned. It's not, you know, it's good for guys that aren't as seasoned as others, because you can manipulate the situation however he wants to. You know, he can throw different wrenches in to whatever a main break may cause, whether it's a split bell or just a, you know.
It's called opportunities for learning, not failure.
Yeah, right. You know, you learn new gadgets that they have out on the market and such that make your job a little bit easier and.
That guy
and
should be a
safer like that.
politician.
So, yes, it's nice when somebody that has the resources like them comes up to
all
teach
right.
us.
Well, look, we appreciate that you came up here to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had planned on going myself, but I ended up with a stomach flu on Tuesday, and I just didn't end up making it, so,
We'll catch you next time.
yeah, hopefully. All right.
Not me.
The board, anybody in the board, anything else we want to bring up?
Well, I had an interesting discussion with a Bangor Water employee last week, and I've got his name in the card. I didn't bring it in, but he had a gadget there. They were flushing hydrants. And I was going to give you guys the contact. It's called a diffuser that he was using.
Yep,
You're probably aware of it.
yep. That's all, we got some old ones.
So he was pretty interesting. He talked my ear off. I had to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Good guy.
All right, anything else here?
Is DOT paving South Main this year?
Yes.
Or redoing South
We
Main?
had a utility meeting this morning in Prescott with DOT. Soderberg has plans to start in Caribou on September 3rd.
Oh, wow.
They're going from roughly Michaud and Michaud's garage, like just across from the Sutherland Farm. They're all the way down to Hatch Drive, at Main Street Hatch Drive where that comes out, and then Hatch Drive all the way out to where they stop on the Washburn Road last year. We have probably 40-something water gates in that, that stretch, and 25 or 6 manholes that all need to be broken down and rebuilt because of the DOT spec doesn't allow you to put risers, so they all have to be removed and brought to the finished grade, which is a big project. But we're getting word that Soderberg's slowed their progress because of the weather. So we're on the back end of the list. If that keeps getting pushed by weather, it could not.
Going to 2025, maybe,
Yeah, it
yeah.
could be pushed again. Yeah, so we're reluctant to start breaking those manholes down because of that. You
Right.
know, once it gets a little bit closer, we'll start working on it.
How long does it take to do that? One manhole is?
You can probably do 2 a day if you get the right, maybe 3, but 2 a day you can count on if.
So does it really more or less depend on the condition of the
Yeah.
well
How
underneath
deep-
the surface?
How deep you need to go.
How much it may be broken down? Okay.
Yeah. And there's a cost, there's a cost associated with that, the infrastructure that's in the ground right now, and you go and break all that down, and you find out that the frame is actually split under the ground. It's holding together because the ground's there, but as soon as you unearth that, it falls apart on you, and so we try to keep a little bit of an inventory at the shop to repair those and replace them. But it could be, if we try to budget for it, because we knew about it before, put it in the budget, but sometimes that, so if you guys see it on those figures, ask that question, it's likely where it comes from. They're not cheap.
All right. Anything else from the board?
So I'm assuming we don't have to go to executive session?
We
That's
have
just-
to go to
we do.
executive
Oh, we do,
session.
okay.
Making sure there isn't anything else before we do.
No, I understand. Thank-
Someone do a vote, please?
Somebody want to make a motion here?
Yeah, I would move to go into executive session, Title I, Chapter 13, 456C, consultation between body and agency and the attorney concerning legal rights and duties.
Second.
All in
fast?
favor? Well, excuse us. We appreciate your coming out, and hopefully the next time you're up here, I'll be available.
Thanks so much for Thank you.
You say if you weren't going into that, the training response trailer is up in the.
If you two want to stay, you can, but, and I'll give you a little explanation.
Where did you say the response trailer was? Where did you say the response?
At the bank parking lot.
Oh, the bank parking lot?